I'm Dan Calabrese, and I accept the Ice Bucket Challenge issued by my mother. Can't very well tell my mother no, but also as an opportunity to honor my grandfather, Fred Krause. Now, at this point, just about every member of my family has done this, and we've all mentioned him, and I want you to know why he is such an inspiration to all of us. It's not mainly because he went to Europe and helped defeat the Nazis. That was the first heroic thing he did as a young man. And it was a first example of him understanding what it meant to answer the call of duty. But the greatest act of heroism that he performed in our life was as the patriarch of our family, raising 5 daughters and a son along with my grandmother, raising them to live according to the same principles, the same character, the same faith that he did. Now, when he was 59 in 1973, he was diagnosed with ALS. And I want to tell you about why it is that my grandfather won his battle with ALS. You might argue, what do you mean he won his battle? He died from it. Yeah, I know he did. But let me explain to you why he really won the battle. When he was diagnosed, he was told he had 2 years to live. This was in 1973. At that time, my youngest aunt was only a freshman in high school. She was only 14. He told her, promised her, he said, I will live to see you graduate from high school. Now, he kept that promise to her, but he didn't just do that. He also lived to see her graduate from college, and he also escorted her down the aisle at her wedding. The reason he did that was because my grandfather didn't think like a lot of people think. When the doctors presented him with a proposition that said, Mr. Krause, these are the terms. You're going to live 2 years. My grandfather looked ALS in the face and said, I do not think so. The God I serve has called me to be the patriarch of this family and to do certain things, and I will not leave this earth before I do them. And he didn't. There's not one of us that's going to live eternally in this earthly body. All of us are going to die. He did too. But he defeated ALS because he left us on his terms when his work was complete, and not when someone told him he had to. I want to tell you one other thing that he did for me personally. I was only 15 when he left us, but I still consider myself blessed because a lot of my cousins were too young to even really remember him, and some were not even born when he died. So I was so blessed because I had the opportunity to ride my bike over to their house on Potawatomi and just hang out with him and spend time with him. And I liked to do this as a young teen because he was the coolest person I know. And even though at that time the disease was already ravaging his body, he was already in a wheelchair, he couldn't get up, he couldn't run around or anything like that. But what he could do is he could sit there with me and he could watch Tiger baseball, and we could listen to Ernie and Paul broadcast the games on the radio. Now, you all know, you see me, I dress this way basically every day. You all know that I really, really love the Tigers. I love to wear the gear. But you don't all know where that started. It started with my hero, my grandfather, teaching me how something like baseball could be used to build a bond between generations. And he did that for me, and it was through that experience of loving baseball and loving the Tigers together that we built a relationship with each other. That's something that my Uncle Bud has now done with his son CJ. A lot of my other cousins have done it, my brothers, and it's something that I've done with my son Tony. And so, Grandpa, I want to thank you, not just for teaching me to love baseball, but for using baseball to teach me to love. Now, my job here is to let a bucket of ice get thrown over my head and to send $100 to the ALS Foundation, which is on its way. ALS Foundation, your job is to take all this money that you're getting from all these people, here we go, and to use that to beat this thing. Because money is not the end, it's just the means to the end. Take that money, find a cure, find a solution so that another generation of people doesn't have to win the battle the way my grandpa did, but can win different battles, bigger battles, better battles, because they've already been delivered from this one. Grandpa, I love you. When I see you again in the Father's kingdom, I want you to know, I'm hitting third, you're hitting cleanup. We're going to win this day. God bless.